Bakit?
Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Ito po ay impromptu. Tinanong lang ako ni Pastor kung sino mag-introduce sa ating speaker. O nga, hindi ko pala na-assign. But anyway, ang aming journey with the Sorianos ay nagsimula pa noong 2001 or 2000, si Pastor Dennis ang pastor and JJ was only 13 or 14 years old. Siya ay, ano nga ba yung term ng
Communicants class.
Communicants class. Sorry. Confirmation class member itong si JJ kay Pastor Dennis. Sinundan naman the following year, ako naman ang choir director ng Church among the Palms. So, ang pagtatagni-tagni ng aming pamilya ay simula pa noon hindi dahil sa labas, kundi dahil kami ay nag-journey to fulfill yung mission ng Panginoon sa pamamagitan ng musika. So, yun ang una naming dahilan kung bakit kami nagsama-sama hanggang ngayon. No? Hindi dahil sa marugang ko siya o hindi dahil siya ay pastor, kundi siya ay, ang pamilya niya ay magka-vibes kami katulad ng mga choir dito. No? Di ba ang saya natin? Ganon din yung pamilya Soriano. Long time ago. At nagpapasalamat ako sa Panginoon dahil hindi lang siya musician. High School for the Arts, graduate siya ng UP Los Baños.
Hindi pa UP, hindi po UP.
Ay,
Pero sa Los Baños.
Asa High School for the Arts. Tapos, nag-migrate sila. Ay dahil crush niya nitong king
Salamat!
Nag-follow din kami, nag-migrate din kami. Boss, sabi ko talaga dito ay ibang klase. Tapos, continue siya ng jazz performing artist siya sa Calgary. Nag-graduate siya ng music pa rin. Bago, nakita niya ang musician naman ay hindi masyadong nakakabuhay ng pamilya at kailangan pang gabi ang trabaho, hindi pwede sa kanya yun. So, siya ng military. Naging graduate siya ng Royal Military Academy. Tapos, siya ng naval officer. So, officer siya simula noong Royal Military student. Tapos, hindi pa rin. May tawag ang Panginoon. Hindi nagkasya ang Panginoon na magiging military siya. Kundi siya itinawag para sa ministry. Kaya, lalo kaming tuwang-tuwa ni Pastor Dennis kasi yung 13 years old na kanyang sinubaybayan ay naging pastor siya. So bago namatay si Pastor Dennis, pangarap niya na ang kanyang malugang ay siyang maging speaker dito. Pero hindi niya naabutan. Salamat pa rin sa Panginoon kasi patuloy kaming nag-lingkod sa Panginoon sa pamamagitan ng aming mga awit. At ngayon i-introduce ko ang aking walang ibang malulang. Mamahal si Jerry Joseph Soriano.
Or JJ.
Or JJ.
Salamat tayo. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa pagkakataon na ito na magbigay ng message sa inyo ngayong umaga. Tulad na sinabi ni Nanay, nasa Canada, hindi ko lang pala mention yun, nasa military ako sa Canada. Pero military chaplain ako, so pastor pa rin, pero nagtatrabaho sa military. So first time ko po dito sa Louisiana. And first time ko rin bibigay ng mensahe na maraming Tagalog. Basta rin po, kung na nagbigay ng message sa English. Pero alam ko naman po tayo mga Pilipino magaling naman tayo makaintindi ng English. So nakahalo. Magsimula yung message ko in English, tapos dinami yung Tagalog later. So our scripture reading from the Old Testament this morning is one of the most well-known passages in the Bible. It's the story of Adam and Eve and the serpent in the Garden of Eden. And we hear this story from a very young age, right? From Sunday school. And we keep hearing it as we get older. In church, we read it in books, we see it in paintings, we see it in illustrations, in children's Bibles, and so on. This story is just everywhere. And it is one of the most important stories in both the Christian and the Jewish traditions. And many times, whenever we hear this story, we also hear an explanation of this story. And this explanation can be summarized into two words: original sin. Have you heard of that term before? Original sin? Sometimes it's called the fall, which describes the very first time that human beings disobeyed God. And because of their disobedience, God punishes them. He kicks them out of the Garden of Eden, and he curses both the woman and the man. Adam is cursed with the hard labor of growing food, and Eve is cursed with the hard labor of childbirth. Now, most of us, if not all of us, know this story, right? And we know this explanation of original sin or the fall. But, what if I told you that there is a different explanation to this story? A different explanation. Yes, the idea of the fall or original sin is one angle, it's one perspective, but we can also look at this story from a different angle. Now, if this is your first time hearing this explanation or angle, it might be a bit surprising. It might be hard to hear because it's something new. It's something different, but I understand that. But I also encourage you to be open this morning. Because first of all, this different perspective is actually not new. Like I said earlier, this story is important to the Christian faith and also to the Jewish faith. In both the Christian and Jewish scriptures, the story of Adam and Eve and the serpent in the Garden of Eden is exactly the same. The story, the words, the text, they are exactly the same, but the explanations are different. I know we're not Jewish, so why should we care about this perspective, this viewpoint, this angle? Meron pong isang kwento. Narinig niyo na po siguro ito. Sa kwento nito, merong tatlong bulag na nakasalubong ng isang elephant. Ngayon, siyempre, bulag sila, hindi nila alam kung ano yun. Kaya nagtanong sila sa isa't isa kung ano po sa tingin nila. Yung unang bulag, nakawakan niya yung katawan. Naramdaman niya na malapad ito, Mataas, sabi niya. Alam ko na, ito ay isang pader. Yung pangalawang ulat ay nahawakan naman ng binti ng elepante. Ay hindi naman ito pader. Isa itong puno. Tapos nagsalita yung pangatlong ulat. Mali kayo. Nahawakan niya yung buntot. Hindi ito pader o puno. Isa itong lupit. Alam ko po na hindi tayo bulag. At walang elepante ngayon sa simbahan. Pero kung babalikan po natin yung tanong ko kanina, kung bakit natin kailangan intindihin yung pananaw ng iba, yung pananaw ng mga Jewish, when it comes to the story of Adam and Eve and the serpent. Tulad ng kwento ng mga bulag at ang elepante, kung titignan po natin at makikinig tayo sa pananaw ng iba, makakatulong ito sa ating sariling pag-unawa. In the Jewish tradition, the story of Adam and Eve and the serpent in the Garden of Eden is not about the first sin. I'm going to say that again. In the Jewish tradition, the story that we read from Genesis is not about the first sin. In their tradition, sin is not the focus of this chapter in Genesis. Sin is not even the focus in chapter 4 when Cain kills his brother Abel. Yes, sin is there, but it's not the focus. In the Jewish tradition, sin and evil become the focus only in Genesis chapter 6, just before the story of Noah and the flood. So, if the story of Adam and Eve, the serpent in the garden, is not about the first sin, what is this about? In simple words, this is the story about growing up. Not just growing older, but growing up. Some people might call it the loss of innocence or maturity. Maaari din po natin makita ito bilang pagkamulat. Para mas maunawaan po natin ang kwento ito bilang pagmulat at hindi lamang tungkol sa original sin or yung fall, kailangan natin muling ipakilala ang mga karakter sa kwento. Sinasabi sa Genesis chapter 2 na sina Adam and Eve ay parehong hubad at hindi nahihiya. Ngayon, karamihan po sa atin ay nahihiya naman po siguro pag wala tayong sumunod sa harap ng ibang tao. Sino lang po ba ang hindi nahihiyang walang damit? Mga baby. Diba? Mga baby. Sila ang hindi nahihiya kasi hindi nila alam na wala silang damit. Wala pa silang pamalayan. And so, the idea that Adam and Eve had no clothes but were not ashamed is not because they can't go shopping sa SM o sa Ubay-Ubay. No, this is a symbol in the story. It's a symbol of innocence. Like babies, they were innocent. They did not have enough experience. They did not have enough maturity or awareness to realize that they were naked. Okay, so that's Adam and Eve. Now how about the serpent? Yung ahas. Simula ko nung bata ako, ang narinig at nababasa ko, palagi sa Sunday school o sa mga sermon, nababasa sa libro, ay yung ahas daw sa Garden of Eden ay sino? Narinig niyo na po siguro. Ang narinig ko yung ahas ay yung demonyo. Si Satan. Pero kung babalikan po natin yung nakasulat sa Genesis, the serpent was described not as evil, but as crafty. Puso. Now, this is still not a very positive description. But in the Jewish tradition, they do not see the serpent as the devil in this story. Again, this is a different perspective. And the word crafty, used to describe the serpent, is translated from the Hebrew word adun. Ang salitang ito ay kadalasan ginagamit hindi para ilarawan ang kasamaan, ngunit para ilarawan ang magtalino. In fact, this word, crafty, prudent, puso, arun in Hebrew, is mostly found in the book of Proverbs when it describes the people who are wise. Also, remember that the fruit that Adam and Eve ate was not the fruit of evil, but it was the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Knowledge. Now, we might say, but didn't God tell them not to eat that fruit? Didn't they disobey God by doing that? Yes. We can look at that as disobedience. But again, in the Jewish tradition, this is not just about disobedience. But instead, it is about moving away from the innocence of childhood and starting to make independent choices. Hindi ko po alam sa inyo, pero nung kabataan ko, ilang beses din ako may nakinig sa magulang. And I made mistakes. I made choices that were not smart. But I learned a lot from those mistakes. And as I grew older, as I grew up, I learned how to make better choices and wiser decisions. Ngayon, hindi ko po sinasabi na kailangan natin mag-disobey para mas matuto at maging mas madali. Gusto ko lang po makita natin na pwede natin maunawaan ang kwento ni Adam and Eve at ng serpent. Hindi na lang bilang kwento ng pagkakasala, ngunit bilang kwento ng pagkamulat. So ano po nakita ni Adam and Eve nang sila ay namulat? Namulat sila sa realidad ng mundo. Their eyes were opened to the realities of life. First, Adam and Eve realized that they were naked. Again, like I said earlier, this is a symbol of the loss of innocence. They realized that they were not babies anymore. Hindi pwedeng mabuhay ang tao na parang baby na. Kailangan tayong tumanda. Hindi lang sa edad, pero kailangan nating mag-mature. Kailangan natin matutunan kung paano maging responsable at magkaroon ng wisdom. Pangalawa, namulat sina Adam and Eve sa katotohanan na hindi lang kaligayahan ang nararanasan natin sa buhay. Hindi lang paradise, hindi lang Garden of Eden ang buhay natin. Parang si Adam and Eve, minsan tayo ay natatakot, minsan tayo ay napapahiya, Minsan tayo ay nag-aaway. At minsan ay sinisisi din natin ang iba. We give excuses for our own bad decisions. At pangatlo, nagulat sila Adam at Eve sa katotohanan na hindi laging madali ang buhay. Sinabi ng Diyos kay Eve na ang panganak ay magiging lubhang masakit. At sinabi na kay Adam na ang paghahanap buhay ay magiging mahirap hanggang kamatayan. Pagbata tayo mukhang mas madali ang buhay. Pero habang tumatanda tayo, natututunan natin na ang buhay ay hindi ganoon kasimple. Hindi ganoon kadali. Minsan nga ako, bumangon lang mahirap na. Now you might be asking, is that it? That is what the story is about? Life is hard? Well, that is not the only story. We also read a story from the Gospels, from Matthew chapter 4, where Jesus spent 40 days in the wilderness. And in this story, Jesus did not encounter a crafty serpent. Instead, he encountered the devil himself. This story is not about growing up, but about standing up against evil in all of its forms. Hindi po sapat na mamulat tayo sa realidad ng hirap. Kailangan din tayong mamulat sa realidad ng kasamaan. Kailangan din natin matutunan ang pagkakaiba ng hirap na natural at ang hirap na dulot ng kasamaan, ng kayabangan, ng kasakiman. Minsan, tayo ay napapagod, hina. Minsan, tayo ay nalulungkot. Minsan, tayo ay nagkakainisan. Minsan, tayo ay nagkakasakit. Nasasaktan. At minsan, ang mga hirap na ito ay natural na parte ng buhay. Hindi natin dapat sisihin ang demonyo o ang kasamaan sa lahat ng hirap at problema natin. Kung nahirapan tayo bumakan sa umaga, ay, demonyo siguro to. Siguro na tumatanda na tayo. Pero hindi din natin dapat pitan o baliwalain ang mga hirap at mga problema na dulot ng kasamaan, ng korupsyon, kasakiman, at kasinungalingan. Tulad ng mga walang tirahan dahil sa kahirapan. Yung mga bata na hindi makapag-aral dahil walang maayos na funding ng gobyerno. O mga may sakit na dulot ng polusyon. O mga tao walang makain dahil sa sobrang pagtaas ng presyo ng bilihin. O mga pinatay dahil sa pagtulong sa mga katutulong. Ito ay hindi mga hirap na natural. At hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na ganyan lang talaga ang buhay. Sa halip, tulad ni Jesus, dapat natin kalabanan at palayasin ang kasamaan. Sa tulong ng Diyos, tayo ay mamulat na makita natin ang realidad ng buhay.